The Jewish community in Ontario is so thankful that Ontario took the lead in being the first province to mandate Holocaust education in our schools. And at a time when knowledge of history just doesn't seem to be there for the next generation, at a time of rising anti-Semitism, as Marvin had already mentioned, statistically speaking, in our province and across the country, it really is would be a much more difficult struggle if just the history of the Nazis and the Holocaust were not made mandatory, because how can you fight something if you don't even know the history of the situation? And unfortunately, this Holocaust distortion has unfortunately become a fairly major manifestation of modern manifestation of anti-Semitism.
To combat anti-Semitism, the first key step is to define it. And the ARAH definition is the most authoritative, comprehensive, and universal definition of anti-Semitism that exists today. The definition includes illustrative examples, which address both traditional and contemporary forms of anti-Semitism. The definition also aligns with the values underpinning both the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and indeed Ontario's Anti-Racism Act 2017, which underpins the Ontario Anti-Racism Directorate's own invaluable work.
That 1 in 3 Canadian students and youth believe the Holocaust was fabricated or exaggerated. That is happening in 2022, as recently as 2022 when the data was presented to us. That I think should be problematic for if we could remove our faith and our heritage and where we're from as Canadians and as small d Democrats, as people who believe in democratic values and pluralism. Absolute affront to Canadian values to have such a massive level of misinformation and disinformation impacting how kids think and then what they say and do.
The anti-Semitic incidents, and again, I work in issues management, so I know, because I hear about them and I deal with them, are largely in middle school. And what do we see more than anything? We are seeing largely swastika graffiti, Nazi salutes, and hateful words. So when Minister Lecce talks about Holocaust education, I mean, this announcement will change everything. Sometimes, there's criticism. The war was 80 years ago. Why do we need to keep talking about it? Because that's what we're seeing in the schools. And when we ask kids, when we find them, the perpetrators, and we don't always find them, and we say, why did you draw swastikas all over the bathroom? They say, and I quote, I know it's bad, but I don't know what it means. So when we teach them what it means, it's like an eye-opening experience, right? And the Holocaust was like the ultimate extreme manifestation of hate. So it is very, very, very important that this continues.
Mayor and members of council have taken different steps, including issuing statements of solidarity against racial injustice, the hiring of an accessibility coordinator, a diversity and inclusion officer, and an anti-racism specialist. And as well, we have established a diversity and inclusion task force to provide guidance to the city in developing policies that promote fairness, mutual respect, and inclusion. And additionally, under the direction of council, the city has developed a multi-year diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy action plan. While the city is leading the charge with these various efforts, it is also important that we continue to educate the public of the significance of denouncing any type of hate-based discrimination by remaining steadfast in our commitment to make Vaughan a place where everyone is encouraged to succeed. Individually, we need to stop being a bystander and take action against all forms of racism, including speaking up, taking action, and showing strength by supporting each other.